24-hour challenge.
All right, just got in from the airport, got the bathroom, staying here at Park MGM. MGM's my go-to place since they comp me rooms. As you can see, we got a pretty decent view. Got the Aria right there. Get in there, yep. Definitely show y'all a view later on tonight. It should be pretty when it's all lit up. But we're gonna go ahead. We landed about, it didn't take me no time to get here. Maybe an hour ago we landed in Vegas. So we're gonna go ahead and head over to MGM Grand and jump in for our first session on this 24 hours and 3 days in Vegas. Let's grind up some cash and build a bankroll, y'all. All right, next time y'all see me, we'll probably be recapping from MGM Grand. All right, y'all, later. All right, so we jump across the street to MGM Grand. That's where we're gonna play our first session. I buy in for 300. It's a 1-2 game. I put 200 in red on there. I got 4 greens in my pocket. So when you see the end clip and you see the greens, that's where they're from. But as you can see in the first orbit, I witnessed quads beating a full house. So that's definitely get your juices pumping before you sit down and really get going. All right, so let's jump into the action. All right, here's the first hand we really get involved in and have a decent sized pot. And coincidentally enough, we're playing the Hatter, 10-6. So let's jump right into how it went out, how the action went. So a crazy guy, let me tell you a little bit about him before we get too far into this hand. He's been pretty much putting in a $4 raise. He picks an amount and he pretty much bets it on almost all streets. That's just what he's been doing, and he's just having a good time drinking. So he opens up to 4, low jack folds, high jack folds. The cutoff's going to go ahead and call. And then there's a tighter player. I ain't really seen him play many hands, so I kind of have him classified as a tight player here. And he just seems like the type, sort of almost an OMC. He's going to go ahead and call. Comes to the small blind, he's on call. And we're just getting incredible odds here. Plus, we have our hand, the Hatter. So we go ahead and close the action. I don't really like raising there, not with 10-6, even though it's suited. So we go to a flop of 3-7-5, 2 clubs. Beautiful flop for our hand. So, of course, the small blind's going to check. I'm going to check, see what the crazy guy does. And the crazy guy, he's going to go ahead and do what I figured he was kind of going to do. He's been betting 4 consistently, so he continues that up. Cutoff's going to call. The tight player on the button, he goes ahead and makes it 15. Goes to the small blind, he flats the 15. I could be raising here. I mean, I got a lot of equity here. I got the flush draw. I got the straight draw. But in a moment, I'm a little worried about the tight guy, and I don't want to balloon a pot up. So I go ahead and take more of a passive route here, and I call the 15. Crazy guy's going to call the 15, and now the cutoff calls the 15. So maybe I should have raised there and thinned it out. But now we have a pretty good pot, 95 in the pot. The 3 of hearts comes off. This is actually a terrible card pairing the board. 5-3 is a thing. 7-3 really shouldn't, but there's all the sets have now boated, and now my flush and my straight would be no good. So now I'm definitely almost done with the hand a little bit, depending on the action. Checks over the crazy guy, and guess what, y'all? That's right, he bets $4 again. So the cutoff's going to go ahead and call the 4. Now it goes to the tight player. I'm expecting him to go ahead and put in another raise, and I'm trying to figure out what sizing it's going to be, and that's going to determine my action. So when he only raises to 15, now I'm starting to wonder, like, maybe he just has a 7 or something. I don't see him doing this with a boat. I mean, 15 into the pot is pretty much nothing. The small blind's going to fold. It's going to get back to me. And I think about it, and I'm like, I'm just getting way too good of a price because maybe my flush or a straight, if it hits, would be good. So I call, the crazy guy calls, and now the cutoff gets out of the way. And now we're going 3 ways to the river with 144 in the pot, and it comes to 4 of spades. So we hit the straight, and at this point, I'm trying to think about what I should be doing. I'm still really worried about the tight player. And let's say he did have something crazy like 3-4 or something like that on the button, which I don't think he would have. But, I mean, maybe he had 4s and he was kind of doing the same thing I was doing, but he was being a little more aggressive. So I'm thinking about donk leading, but instead I figure, well, the tight player, he's done raised twice. So I'm pretty much just trying to bluff catch here, or catch maybe if he has like 7s or something. Well, not set pocket 7s, but like 8-7 or something. Maybe he'll value bet again. I don't know. This is kind of an interesting spot. Maybe y'all give me some feedback on it, but I go ahead and check. This time the crazy guy checks, which is surprising. And then the tight player checks. and we show down the 10-6. The tight player seems kind of mad when he sees my hand and chucks his cards into the muck. I'm guessing he probably had something, maybe like 8-7 or something like that. Crazy guy never shows, and we go ahead and take down our first okay pot here. We take in 144 here, and with it just being within the first 30 minutes at the table, it kind of gives you a little bit of a let's go feeling. So that's the first hand, and let's go ahead and jump into the second hand and the hand of the day and the session for sure. All right, y'all, this right here is definitely the hand of the session, and it's a pretty interesting spot. So as we jump into it, I do want to explain some things. So a tight player, he opens up to 10. When he opens up to 10, I'm putting him on a very strong hand right here. Like I said, he's been playing super tight. So now the main villain in the hand, he's on a cold call, goes to the low jack, he folds. High jack is going to flat call. And I have pocket jacks, and this is such a, I definitely could be raising here. Like, I could go ahead and pop this up to like 40 to 50 here pretty easily. But I'm really worried about the tight guy, and I don't want to reopen the pot for him. So I decided to go ahead and take more of the passive route again and go ahead and try to set mine. So I go ahead and call, button folds, small blind folds, and the big blind's on the call. So with 51 in the pot, we hit middle set. Beautiful flop here, and now I'm loving my decision just to flat. So now the tight guy could have pocket kings, ace king, aces. I mean, these are the type of hands, maybe ace queen. So I'm expecting this to hit the tight guy's range a lot. So I'm expecting him to go ahead and lead in this situation. So I'm hoping to build a pot here. So it checks, and surprisingly the tight guy checks. And now the main villain in the hand, he's going to lead out for 25. Now I want to say one thing. The table has been super tight, and there was a hand like this sort of earlier where I had pocket nines in a raised pot, and I called pre-flop, and I flopped a set. And as soon as I raised on the flop, everybody folded. And it was like a bet, a call, and I raised, and everybody folded. So that hand's kind of in my head. So when the hijack gets out of the way, now I'm the one player that has been willing to put in some chips. It has been this villain. He's a little more splashier than the others. So I decided to go ahead and put the trap in here for at least one street. I mean, it's kind of dangerous because there's a diamond draw out there. There's straight draws out there. And also I want to see what the tight guy does, because if he does have pocket kings, maybe he was trying to trap also. So I go ahead and put in the call. Big blind folds, and when the tight guy gets out of the way, now I know I'm probably way ahead. So now it's all about trying to find a way to get all these chips in. So when the 7 of hearts comes on the turn, this is pretty much a blank, but it does put in another flush draw. At this point, the villain continues, but he continues with the same bet for 25. And at this point, we got to start building a pot. And with the 7 of hearts coming off, it really doesn't change anything. No other hands come in. So I'm thinking if I put in a raise here, he might not give me as much credit. So I go ahead and bump it up to 100. He doesn't think for long. He asks how much it is, and he makes the call. So now with 301 in the pot, we're looking at the river coming. The river comes a 7 of clubs. All right, so this is about the best card I could hope for. I definitely didn't want a diamond to come in. And at this point, I mean, I'm thinking he has like a king X hand here. So, or I've like really coolered him and he has pocket sixes, but I don't believe that, because I think if he had anything like that, or if he did have the case jack with like king jack, he would have got it all in on the turn. So now I'm a little trying to figure out the right price. And this is where I do make a little bit of a blunder, because he's going to check to me. And I'm so focused on what's in the pot and what sizing I'm going to use that I think I can get called by like a king X type hand, that I'm not really paying a lot of attention to how many chips I have in my stack. So I end up betting 150, which looking back with 185 in there, I just need to rip it in there. That's just not really paying attention to what I have in my stack, and definitely a recreational error that I made there. Like I said, I'm a rec player out here in Vegas playing, so a little bit of an error there, but have no fear. My man, he goes ahead and quickly says he's all in, so he takes care of the work with only 35 behind. He says he wants the last 35 of my chips. It makes no sense for him to have pocket kings or pocket sevens, so I'm still feeling really good about this. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and call off. And my man ends up showing ace 7 of diamonds, which makes a lot of sense. He flopped the nut flush draw. He turns a pair, so he decides to go ahead with the extra equity. He gets the worst river card possible, the 7, and makes trips, and we take down a huge pot right here, y'all. And now we are off to a great start here in Vegas. After this hand, we have one more hand of note that I'll just recap real quick. I had king, queen, and I 3-bet from the small blind to 15, got a caller. Flop come ace, king, queen. I go ahead and continue for 25. I get the 1 caller calls again. The turn comes a brick. I lead out again for 50, and at that point he folds. And besides that, we go, we're just grinding. We lose some chips here and there, nothing big. And as you'll see here in a minute, we're going to rack up and cash out, and I'll show the results here in just a second of session 1 from MGM Grand.
'21, 26.
Good luck.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna have fun, right?
Same thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Hope your back gets feeling better, bro.
Check. Thank you. And I think I found this spot. So then there's I had to check.
Good luck, everybody.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 40, and 5.
All right, quick recap from session number 1. As you see, we bought in for 300 and we get out for 746 in a little over 4 hours with $108 hourly. That is amazing and a great start to this trip. All right, let's jump into day 2. All right, so we're off to day 2. We're going to the Bellagio. We catch the Ario Express. Of course, we're going to shoot through the conservatory and go through the lobby and see the beautiful lobby here at the Bellagio. So this will be the beginning of day 2. We jump into the session at 7 a.m. All right, so we sit down at the Bellagio. I don't have a picture of this hand, but we're going to jump right into it. I buy in for 300, and under the gun +1 opens to 15. We get 2 callers. It comes to me in the big blind, and I have king, jack, and I go ahead and close the action and call. The flop comes king, jack, deuce. I check. The original raiser bets 15. At this point, I'm looking to go ahead and raise. And one of the splashier players, I'm hoping they come in, but they actually fold. It comes back to me, and instead of sticking with the plan of raising, I decide to try to trap. And I go ahead and call. And the turn is a queen, which is a terrible card. I check, and now the guy makes it 60, and this is where I make one of my old bad habits as a recreational player, and I go ahead and ship it because I know the board's getting really connected and really bad for me. So I ship it in. He snaps me off with ace 10, and the river's a brick, and all we can do is look at the nice dealer and say, please give us another 300. So we start off stuck 300 right here, so we'll jump into the next hand right here and see if we can grind it back up and dig ourselves out of this being stuck 300 right off the rip. All right, let's go. Hand 2. We got this, y'all. All right, so, and when this hand comes up, I just rebought, and it was probably about 5 hands in between when I just got stacked when I told y'all about that, and this hand coming up. Every hand I'd actually had decent cards, and I was just whiffing flops, so it definitely looks like I'm tilted to people that are watching. So think about that when we go ahead and jump in this hand. So I'm under the gun with pocket kings. I open up to 12, which is pretty standard at this table. Under the gun 2 folds. Now this villain with 750 stack is actually the guy who stacked me. And when he 3-bets, I'm definitely putting him on a very strong hand here. So that's a good thing. The hijack folds. And now there's a Asian guy who is a really cool guy. Very nice. Definitely an action player. He's been in there splashing around since he sat down. He's going to go ahead and flat. The button folds, small blind folds, big blind folds. Comes back to me, and this is where, I mean, I think I should be raising about like 115 to 135 probably. But if I do that, it's not leaving much behind. So I decided to play what I believe is perceived that I'm tilted, and I kind of stammer around a little bit, and then I just go ahead and decide to rip it in, which, I mean, I don't know. It's really not that great of a play, but I really think they think I'm tilted and that I'm frustrated from being stacked early. So I go ahead and rip it in. And the villain who stacked me, he asked me how much more, or asked the dealer how much it is. She gives him a count, and he's like deep in the tank. And when he first goes deep in the tank, I feel great. But now the more he does it, the more I'm starting to worry, or maybe he's Hollywooding and he's trying to get the other guy to come in, and I've ran kings into aces. And if that's what it is what it is, and we're just stuck again, and we're going to have to rebuy. And as time goes along, he tanks for a good 3-4 minutes. And finally, he ends up settling on folding, which is kind of a letdown, because I really expected to get action from him, because I think he was the one that really thought I was tilted. Surprisingly, the action guy goes ahead and calls pretty quick. I turn over my hand. I turn over the pocket kings really quick. That's how I am. I figured I was way ahead of the cool guy. And when he rolls over pocket deuces, I'm actually kind of shocked. And he's so cool. He like gives me a fist bump and everything. Shout out to this dude. He was definitely an action player. I said, man, I appreciate the action. He kind of like chuckled and he said, hey, this is my hand. So I was like, all right. So the flop come Jack 10, and when the 3 rolled off, I really thought it was a 2, y'all. Thank goodness we dodged that. Now all we got to do is get through 2 more cards. When the 3 of clubs come off, I'm like, come on, poker gods. You ain't got to tease me this hard, because you know when that second black card comes out and you know it's a low card, you're just fully expecting it to be the deuce, which luckily it ain't. And the river's a clean 8 of hearts. And we go ahead and scoop a pot here. What's crazy before I move on is actually the villain who folded said he had queens. And I totally believe it by the way he reacted. Because like as soon as I turned over the kings, he kind of like, almost like did the little yeah thing. And so I do believe that he did have queens, as he said, which kind of sucks. Maybe if I would have raised and he would have called, we would have got it all in probably on the flop. Even though that would have been a disgusting flop with jacks and 10s being hands I probably would have put them on. But I would have definitely went with it at that point. So y'all can tell me what y'all think about that. Like I said, I was just trying to play it in the moment and playing what I perceived them seeing me as. Luckily, the action guy gave me the action. And what's really cool is later on, he ends up winning a massive pot right after this with 7 deuce. And the guy was so mad, but I fist bumped the Chinese guy. And told him, man, hey, man, I appreciate it. You know, it's cool the way you're playing. So if a guy's out there giving action, you can't get mad when he wins a hand. But very fun. All right, y'all. This is going to be the second hand I'm going to talk about from the Bellagio session. And we're trying to grind it up. We're almost unstuck here. We're only down 95 in the hole now. So under the gun's going to go ahead and open up to 10. Under the gun, 2 flats. And then eventually it'll fold over to us. And I look down at ace king offsuit, and of course I'm gonna go ahead and 3-bet this. We're trying to build some pots and get unstuck. So I go ahead and raise it up to 50, and both opponents decide to call. So with 151 in the pot, it comes 9 of diamonds, 7 of diamonds, 4 of clubs. Now I do something here that I think a lot of people pick up on, and I did it on purpose. I look back at my cards, looking for a diamond, and I knew I was off-suited. So the reason I did this is I wanted them to think that I had a big pair, and I was looking back to see if I had a high diamond. So that was kind of like a reverse live till I was trying to see if they would pick up on. I mean, it's kind of a small thing, but I thought maybe they'd pay attention to it, and I really want to rep the over pair right here. So I go ahead and bet 50, so I down bet a little bit. Under the gun, 1, he ended up tank calling here. And then under the gun, 2 folds. So when he tanks calls, now I'm thinking maybe he has 2 overs. He might have hands like 10s, 8s, maybe jacks. I don't know. But I got a plan here, and I'm going to stick to the plan, especially when under the gun 2 folds, excuse me. And we go to a turn, which is very clean card, a 2 of spades. And at this point, with 251 in the pot, I want to put max pressure on him and try to get him to fold. And if he calls and he has a pair, I mean, we should have 2 out, or we should have 2 overs. So we got outs here just in case, but I'm really hoping for a fold, and I go ahead and rip it in, as I said, putting max pressure on his hand. And he only thinks for about a minute and goes ahead and folds, and we scoop a nice little pot right there. And now we are officially unstuck. So we're going to keep on grinding and get this thing up and get cashed out a profit, hopefully.
All right. Okay. Thank you. 800. 420.
All right, at this point we got unstuck. We were having a great time. We were starting to have some drinks, getting a little tipsy. We've been playing for almost right at 11 hours when we decided to cash out. We were playing with 4 guys from Canada that was freaking awesome. Dude by the name of Gary gave us a tip on the Rangers and Devils game, so we hung out drinking some beer at the table waiting to cash out till that game ended, and we cashed 2 bets there. But as you can see, we got in for 300, rebought for 300. We get out for 806. So with all things said, very nice profit of 206. When the cash out, you don't see the 6. That's because I tipped. But we keep the right numbers in for our stats. And $19 an hour ain't the greatest, but considering we were stuck, it's all right. So now we're going to shoot across the street and play at the Horseshoe for a minute. All right, so I had some friends that were in town, and they were on Fremont, so I knew they were going to be heading back soon. I was going to meet up with them and go hang out, have a couple of drinks. So I sit down at Bally/Horseshoe, one of my favorite places to play. And the table I sat down on had like 1 regular, and then the rest of them were pretty much vacationers, so it was a great table. And as you can see, I ran good. The only 2 hands I really remember, I wish I would have took better notes, but to be honest with y'all, I was feeling pretty tipsy, and I was just here trying to kill time. But I ran great. I remember getting queens and hitting a set and a guy on an ace high board, and got a little bit of value from a guy. Unfortunately, the run out was bad, so I didn't get max value. But I think I won like $100 in that pot. And then there was another big hand where I had queen 10 suited, and I flopped to top 2 and got 3 streets of value against a guy from New Zealand, which was a really cool guy. And it was nice to talk to him. And that's one great thing about Vegas. You meet so many people from so many different backgrounds. But showing y'all some clips of the stack as it grows. As y'all can see, I was in for 300. I cashed out for 645. I'll show the cash out here in just a second. But we ran amazing, and we ended up winning 345 for an hourly of 121. So definitely spinning it up, and Vegas has been very nice to us. So let's head off to hang out with the friends and have some drinks. All right, so this was the end of day 2, and I'm just going to be real with y'all. It's about 4 a.m. I'm pretty drunk, but I always wanted my vlog to be real and authentic. So here's some drunk words from myself. All right, y'all. So, day 2. I was hoping, if I can't get the lighting right, I wanted y'all to see the Vegas. I'll spin the camera here in a minute so y'all can see the Vegas nightlife. But day 2, and we went to the Bellagio. And I thought I was only going to play a 4-hour block. I ended up playing like right at 11 hours. And then I shot over to the Horseshoe. I played there for 3 hours. And I will post over here the results of both. But let's talk some real talk here. So when I was at the Bellagio talking to people, they brought up a lot of good points. Who's the Mad Hatter? I didn't make this poker vlog for people to, like a novice. Yeah, I got some. I think a novice poker player could learn something from my vlog. Is there players way better than me? Way better. There's people on YouTube that you could watch that are way more educated on poker. My vlog is about me, my life journey. Me stepping outside of the box and being this guy. We get one shot, y'all. One shot at life. So I did all this so I could live a dream and show people. Hopefully someone will watch this one day, whether I'm still doing this or not, but they'll watch this and they'll get inspired. That's the only reason I'm doing this. To inspire some random person to say, hey, even though it sounds crazy, I think I can do it. Because if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be in the Bellagio and I played for 11 hours and I didn't go, well, I did get stacked, but booked a profit, come on, y'all. I'd never believe that. Never in a million years. So, for the people that have asked me who's the Mad Hatter and what I'm about, yeah, my passion's poker. I love poker. And I am getting better. Am I great? No. Am I decent? Yeah, some days. But this video, my vlog, it's not about the technicalities of poker. yeah, I'm going to show some hands, and I'm probably going to play a lot of them bad, and y'all are going to beat me up in the comments. But that's what y'all are here for, to help me get better. And I can take the criticism. But my vlog is about positivity and trying to inspire people to whatever they're doing in life to chase what their dream is. Now, I'm not saying go like quit your jobs or nothing like that, because I ain't doing that. I got a 9 to 5 and I'm grinding away, and in another 5 years I'll retire, and who knows what will come. Because someone asked me today, like, what are you going to do in 5 years when you retire? And I don't know. I mean, hopefully this YouTube, my TikTok, I mean, maybe it'll take me somewhere, but if it don't matter. Maybe I'll play poker. Maybe I'll deal. I don't think I'll deal, but I mean, I love the game. So, I mean, it's my passion. So I'm chasing my passion of poker. Am I great? No, we talked about that. I'm not great. And I never will be great, probably because, I mean, there's just people that are wizards and they're great. But can I go to a small stakes game and be profitable? Maybe. Maybe. I think my results are saying maybe. But who knows? Maybe I mean, poker's a long-term game, and in the short term, yeah, I got some profits, but that ain't what it's about. But I'm going to sum this up with this. It don't matter if I win or lose on this Vegas trip. It really don't. Let's be real. We want to win. I want to win. But if I don't, it's not the end of the world. Because I've watched this. I've walked these the Vegas Strip. Sorry, y'all. For 2 days, and people say, "Hey, man, I love the hat. I love the hat." And yeah, the hat's silly and stuff, but it's all about being who you think you're going to be. And everybody has someone inside of them that they hide from everybody. Be that person. Whoever you want to be that person. Show everybody your true colors. And that's what I'm trying to do. Mad Hatter might be a character outside of me. People that know me, I mean, it's just a piece of me. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut this short. Go follow your dreams. If you come across this on YouTube, because it will be on my YouTube, go chase your dreams. Because I'm out here chasing my dreams. And I would have never thought in a billion years that I'd be out here grinding in Vegas and playing in all these poker rooms, because it seemed so far from my little town in Florida. So y'all go chase it. We only get one shot at life. Don't let people box you in and fall into the system and all that. Y'all go chase y'all's dreams. Who knows? You might inspire someone else while you're trying to inspire yourself. I don't know. Might just be drunk words from the Hatter. Who knows? But so everybody follow me. Everybody that talked to me on the tables at the Bellagio, the Horseshoe. Not many people were talking, but if y'all come across this, I appreciate all y'all. I mean, if you took time to watch it, especially this far after I've been rambling, y'all quite all right in my book. So, with that being said, all right, let's jump right into day 3. And let's be honest, I needed to get them last 6 hours in to get the 24-hour challenge, and I was a little hungover. So we go back to Bally/Horseshoe. I get in for 300, and in like the second hand, I get King 10 of spades and end up flopping a boat, and I win a little over 100 in that hand. And then a few hands later, I get aces, and the dude has kings. We get it all in, and I double up. And that hand, well, I stack them. I don't really double up. I stack him for almost 300, and we're at 670, and things are going amazing. All this happened within the first 30, 45 minutes. So we kind of go card dead for a while, and then I go to another table, and I get joined by one of the Canadian guys that I had played with at the Bellagio the night before, which was cool. But this is when things kind of went awry. So I get aces again, and a really tight player, we end up getting it all in pre-flop, and I am 100% sure that he has kings. It turns out he has aces, and I got 2 red aces. He's got 2 black aces, and we end up chopping up the pot. But it was like after that hand happened, wow, things just went crazy. Like I went so card dead, flop dead. So I ended up bleeding away all the profits. I mean, I would get like 10s and run into jacks was one of the hands. I laid down ace king, which was a good lay down on the river when someone ended up having 2 pair and I had top. So just got chipped away and only end up booking a $40 profit, which is kind of disappointing, but to be honest with you, that's how poker goes. And now let's go ahead and jump in and I'll tell y'all how the end of the 24 hours went and how much we made. All right, let's go over the stats real quick before we get this beautiful view leaving Vegas. We played 4 sessions, 24 hours for a profit of $1,037 in the 24 hours at $43 per hour, which is amazing. And I won all 4 sessions. Like I said, that's probably not going to happen. Just ran good, to be honest with you, and definitely some improvement and things we can do better. But look at that beautiful city. Until next time when we come back for the World Series of Poker, I just want to thank everybody if you made it this far, and hopefully many more vlogs to come. I know this wasn't the best one, but I promise you I'll keep on getting better and better at this, and I appreciate y'all tuning in. See y'all next time. Hatter out.